I've been doing a lot of research as far as this IPEC goat and anything else that's related to the current events that are unfolding in the news. We know that a lot of these events, well, all of these events that are leading up to the beginning of World War III are scripted. So I just wanted to put this together quickly so I can share it with those out there who are interested in seeing it. It's just a bunch of screenshots, but I think they speak for themselves. I do follow everyone else that's on YouTube that's been covering IPEC goat. I've been following them for years, and there's just some things that based on revisiting certain things and watching what's going on in the news and kind of seeing exactly where we are and noticing all the things that the others are finding and how things are lining up. I'd like to point out a couple of things that I found that aren't quite being mentioned. I don't take any credit and I'm nobody special. It's just some stuff that I see and I want to share with y'all. So I'm going to try to let you guys see these things. I don't know if that's going to affect my video, but you'll just have to pause on each and every picture here so that you can read the info that I have here. Some of them I put like little handwritten notes on, so if you guys want to just pause on each one so you can have a look, that would probably be the best way to go about looking at this stuff. And then you can zoom in and see kind of the things that I'm seeing. So if we go back here, we'll notice that there is uranium in the boy's eye, and it says 7-1 on his left cheek. It's kind of distorted, but because his face is curved and because of the angle there, it looks like a 7-1 to me. And we see that in the news just this morning, and I'm sure this is going to be one of the linchpins that's going to cause Iran to be attacked by Israel. Now, whether that's in Syria or that's in Iran remains to be seen. I am kind of thinking that it's going to be something in Syria, leaving the Iran area open for an attack on the USS Abraham Lincoln, which I do believe is going to get sunk, and that's going to kick things off into overdrive here when it comes to the war. There we see New York and the lightning. It's right there, guys. You can see it. And then this right here above looks like a city skyline that is being overtaken by a gigantic wave, which we see here on top. And that rabbit-looking cloud looks like an explosion. And that actually appears in the scene where you see the gigantic wave coming over the Twin Towers in the earlier scene right outside the classroom. If you look above the gigantic waves, you'll see to the right the rabbit puff cloud. So that's why I know that this is really pointing to New York City. And when you screenshot and flip it to the side, right next to where it says New York, you'll see a 7.5 up there, and it only is visible when the lightning strikes, which is a brief split second. So if you pause it correctly, you'll catch this. And then there is a 323, and there is a meaning to that. And if I can get that information together, then I'll link that as well. But I do believe that that is also pointing to this week. Here you go. You've got Psalm 23. The 23 is not what I'm looking at necessarily. I'm looking at the lightning bolt, and then the lightning bolt, if you separate it, looks like a 3 and a 7, and I do believe that that's related to a possible earthquake on that day. And if you notice that in the classroom there is a buck on the wall, and it looks like he's on fire. And then here, July is the buck moon. It just connects for me. I see the buck in the classroom, so it notates July. There is also an exit in the back door. What does that mean? I know a lot of us are praying that the Lord will intervene, and that might be something that does possibly happen in this window of time we're looking at. And nobody knows that. I'm just pointing out something that just, piques my curiosity. So here you have the Twin Towers in the scene with the sharks that'll cause the tsunami. And if you look at this gigantic tsunami here with the shark in the center, we know that that's going to be caused by Russian subs, and that's why you see the shark on the chalkboard. But if you look up here, there's that fluffy bunny cloud, which I do believe is an explosion in the ocean, bringing this water forward, that will eventually hit New York. And if you look in the scene, you can see right here, you've got this building here, and it's casting some light, and I do believe that that is referring to the moon phase, which matches up exactly to the moon phase on 7/5. I don't know, but that's what it looks like. Okay, and now we have Spider-Man Far From Home. I know this is not iPet Goat, but it is important. Atop the archway up there, you see the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. The movie release date for Spider-Man Far From Home is July 2nd, the same day as the eclipse. Now, if you go back to The Economist in 2015, we happen to see Spider-Man kicking. It's just the kickoff event. You know, how did they know in 2015 that Spider-Man Far From Home would be released on July 2nd of 2019? I do not think that's a coincidence. At the same time, you have all these issues with Iran and the Strait of Hormuz, and I do believe if they sink the Abraham Lincoln, they are going to block that strait, which will choke off the oil, and I do believe that's why we see the oil referred to here in this magazine. And I do also see that there is an 11.5 and an 11.3. If you really look closely at this, you can see that the ground is completely cracked, and I do believe that that is signifying that there will be an earthquake. I do believe that there will be two of them, just based on the two arrows. I do see 11.5. You can make that into a 7 right there. And I'm just trying to figure out what the 2.3 means. Does that mean 7/5 there'll be an earthquake? July 5th? Is it all going to fall on the same day? Is it going to be something on the 2nd and then on the 3rd? We don't know. I'm just speculating based on what I see in front of me and the connections that we're making. You know, this whole world is